Canada, our home and native land. Now, you guys didn't come here all this way on the vast stretches of the internet just to hear me sing a terrible attempt at the Canadian national anthem, did you? Well, if you did, I might do it at the end. I don't know. But we're here to talk about a Canadian tank. I just realized in my new office, it's kind of echoey early in the morning. Maybe I should have opened a door. But that will have to be done at a later date. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Canadian Ram Mark II cruiser tank, or what the Americans called the M4A5. If you look at the Sherman variants, kind of like the nomenclature associated with them, there was no M4A5, but there was a place reserved for this tank. I don't really know why, because this wasn't even based off a Sherman chassis. It's actually based off an M3 Lee chassis. Now, before we get into the details, I want to point out that they're saying that this is their headline for it. Good news for all collectors and anyone who just loves unusual vehicles. Very soon, the range of rare but series-produced vehicles in War Thunder will receive a new addition, the M4A5 medium tank, aka the Ram Mark II, which is Canada. Because this is how you stand on guard for you use Ram tanks. But, ladies and gentlemen, a Canadian tank. Now, we'll find out when we go through the devlog if it's going to be premium or not. It looks interesting. M3 tank chassis, keep that in mind. It's got this silly little machine gun turret, kind of where like one of the driver's hatches probably would normally be. But, that's what you get. Now, no one used this in combat. It was used as a trainer. But anyway, let's just jump straight into the devlog. Let's get raw into the devlog. A Canadian Ram Mark II cruiser tank was received into the U.S. Army with the designation M4A5. The vehicle, with its outstanding external appearance, was developed and based on the American M3 Lee. The M4A5, which is coming to the game, and you can't stop it, you Canadian haters, was in series production from 1942 to 1943. And 1,899 units were produced within that time till they realized it was useless. Although this tank never came face-to-face with the enemy on the battlefield, it was actively used both by the Canadians and the British for training tank crews. It also served as a basis for development of later SPGs and other vehicles of various designs. What makes this vehicle stand out from the crowd apart from its unusual origins? First of all, its looks. The smooth contours of its hull and the special gun mantlet make the tank stand out from other Allied vehicles. The tank's armament includes an excellent 6-pounder, which is a 57mm QF Mach 3 cannon. Players that have already researched British tanks with this cannon are likely to thank its accuracy, rapid firing, and powerful effect. This represents a serious threat to any ground vehicles at ranks 1 and 2. The tank also stands out for its survivability in no small part thanks to its excellent defenses for its level. Its frontal armor reaches 3 inches in thickness, plus its effective crew of 5. Sometimes I think instead of just having this translated from Russian into into American, I literally just said that. I did. Go ahead. But from Russian to English, like, someone should proofread it that is a native English speaker. But that's just me being a grammar Nazi? No. In battle, the vehicle is excellently suited to complete various tasks and is a far more versatile tank than any other contemporary tanks. Now, what does that mean? This vehicle is excellently suited to complete various tasks. It's not like the Ram checks in at the office and is like, all right, boss, what do you got for me today? You need me to plug in stuff into my Excel documents? Do I need to take out the trash? Do I need to get coffee? No, I mean, you only got one task, really, and that's killing other tanks. Want to take advantage of the armor and out-muscle enemy defenses? Easy. Quickly change your position to take a strategic point? No problem. Dive into the thick of it and fire off a couple of dozen shells through the attacker's frontal armor plates? Be my guest. On top of all this, the tank has a nice bonus to research points and silver lions earned. The armored vehicle will arrive in War Thunder with update 1.61 Road to Glory and will be, are you ready for it? At a rank 2 as a premium vehicle in the U.S. research tree. Now, why isn't it a British premium? You know what I mean? Are we going to get Canadian roundels? Are you going to spice this up? When we take it out, is it going to sing, "Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee"? Like, could we put speakers on it? I don't know. Is it good at hockey? What is it? Like, come on, man. I feel like this should at least be British too. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, it's going to be an interesting tank. Now, at the beginning, I'll have to warn you guys. For me, personally, as a player, not necessarily as like a YouTuber, I'm like that glutton who's like, I must collect. Like, everyone's going crazy for Pokemon Go right now. And I'm that dude who like is running around with giant Pokeballs trying to catch all the tanks. Because I like to collect all the tanks. Like, rare tanks. Like, I think I have almost every premium tank. I've put a lot of money in this game. Some of the tanks I bought it and I don't play. I don't know. It's like it's OCD for like collection purposes. But I do like the British 6-pounder gun, fast firing 57-pounder. Now it's saying it's gonna be a threat to any ground vehicles at ranks 1 and 2. So we know it has a rank of 2, but honestly it's not as indicative of where it's gonna play, because while there's these 5 tiers in War Thunder, that's kind of more or less just, I don't know, like, it's to help group things, but not practically, because things are in-game at a battle rating. And the battle rating dictates where it's going to play. So this would be what? We have the Australian Thunderbolt in the game. Now we have a Canadian tank. There aren't too many, and there's like Czech tanks, you could say, that the Germans use. But I don't know. Like, there aren't too many other like lesser, what would you say, minor nations as far as like combat performance or combat involvement in World War II. The Canadians were at D-Day. The Canadians were all over the place, but like they kind of, weren't as heralded as maybe say the Anzacs were. But it's going to be an interesting tank. I want to see how it plays, because it's basically, to me, it's like almost like this silly. It's a very interesting tank. It's like a hybrid of kind of like, American tank design off this M3 tank chassis with almost like this quasi-British American-inspired turret, and then with a 57mm or the fast-firing 6-pounder. I'm curious to see how good the armor is. From what I understand, the Ram tank has a maximum armor of 87mm. The secondary armament is 3 7.62mm MGs. It's got a max speed of 25 miles per hour, so I don't know. It seems like it might be slow, but it says quickly change the position to take a strategic point at 25 miles per hour. I mean, I wouldn't say that's quick. Well, it's not fast. I guess they didn't say fast, did they? They just said quickly. That's a rather ambiguous term. But the 6-pounder is going to be a great gun. I know that much. And I know that in World of Tanks there's the Ram 2. But I never played it there. So I'm not entirely sure. Now, there were some other variants that were interesting. There was a flamethrower equipped tank. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to get flamethrowers. I made this point where I thought it would be cool if flamethrowers were put into tanks. But someone made a very, very astute observation a long time ago, because I never really thought of it from a game maker's perspective, that once a flamethrower went off, most people's frame rates would just drop to a crawl. There was another tank, or there was another Ram 2, which was armed with a 40mm main gun. So that'd be interesting, especially if it was a pom-pom and just had that rapid firing. But that's kind of like World of Tanks thinking right there. So there's all kinds of different versions. There's AA versions with a 37mm anti-aircraft gun on the top, a 25-pounder gun, and an open-top superstructure, which is like the Sexton, if you're familiar with that from World of Tanks. There's armored personnel carrier versions, which, since Infantry aren't necessarily going to come, but I really hope they do. That we don't really know. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was just some information on the Canadians. So join with me. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, a true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free of Stalin. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Now the French version. I'm just kidding. I don't even know how to speak French, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one. What do you think of this tank? Be totally honest. Being totally honest with you, I'll buy it. I don't know if it's gonna be any good. I'll buy it. I'll review it. We'll play it. So if you guys want to wait and see, I'll be putting a video on it, as I do with almost every tank in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Baron, and I'm out to play more Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Another video of that is coming out today. You guys have loved that game, and I'm glad you do, because I love to play it.